Guys, I'm making another video. So in this video, welcome first of all, and I'm happy that you're here, whomever that you are. And in today's video, I'm gonna talk about panic attacks. Those shitty ones, you know. I'm gonna talk about how it is to live with panic attacks and how at least I freed myself from that more and more. And with that said, I still have panic attacks, but I just not so much, you know. And okay, imagine that you're asleep. The alarm is going off, and you wake up with a feeling of being fucking catapulting up in the fucking space. And when you're up there, you realize that you also have to go down, and every fear in your entire body kicks in, and you can't breathe, you're dizzy, you're shit scared of freaking everything, and you have no idea where you are, you have no idea where you're going, and everything is just a blur. And this feeling, this mixed feeling of everything that I just said, is just taking over your body. That was how I woke up for so many years. Not every day, but almost every day. So imagine you starting your day like that. Panic attacks can take place whenever. And for me, it was usually and most frequently in the mornings. So that was how my day started for a very long time. Me not being able to breathe. Me feeling like, you know, what the fuck is going on? That was my feeling from the moment when I woke up. And how this affected my life was, as I've talked about in my first video, it affected me in a way where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't work fully. Like, I had a full-time job, but I couldn't manage it. I called in sick so often. Because, I mean, what the fuck? Imagine waking up with that and then being able, like, okay, I'm a person and I need to go to work. That's just the least thing that you want to do. And when your nervous system is in this stress response and in this fight and flight state, it's kind of hard to get over that, to be able to just shake it off and go to work. I tried that so many freaking times. And every time I did it, every time I tried to go to work, even if I had this really big fucking feeling that took over my body, I couldn't really, I mean, it's kind of hard to manage that and to be able to function. So yeah, I got off track of it, but the thing that I wanted to say with that was every time I actually went to work, either way, did it anyway, this feeling just kept on growing. Like my entire system screamed at me to just stop. Stop. But my mind and my ego was like, well, I can't stop because my colleagues are going to think I'm sick again and they're going to think negative stuff about me. And like all the kids that I'm actually going to take care of today, what are they going to do? And are they going to be disappointed by me? How do I actually go to work? Do I go by subway or do I go by bike? Do I actually walk there? Do I ask my dad if I can take the car? What do I do? You know, what should I even eat for breakfast? Should I even eat breakfast? Like, how do I even get out of bed? You know? It's just like this constantly like ticking fear in your whole freaking system that is fucking taking your life away. It's literally took my life away. I felt bad about myself. I didn't have a humble or warm-hearted or kind vibe or energy about myself. I started to really think negative about myself. I started to lie just because actually I wasn't even honest about I wasn't honest towards myself in this. I didn't even understand that it was panic attacks. So I lived with these panic attacks for many years without understanding what it was. So I just thought that there's something fucking wrong with me. And it's me that is wrong with. I'm the outsider. I'm the person that doesn't fit in this. I'm the person that has the failing link, you know? And I lived with that belief for many years. And I compared myself to every fucking one. I just blamed myself so much. And this was just it got to a point where I actually wasn't able to hear good thoughts about myself, positive thoughts. I literally couldn't. I couldn't hear, because I remember that I had to use a friend of mine. I needed to use his voice because he was always so kind of me. Shout out to you, Kave. Love you. And thank you for all the fucking support you gave me through that. But I wasn't able to hear myself saying good things about myself. So I found myself using his voice to start talking nice about myself in my own head. I literally, my voice wasn't able, my inner voice wasn't able to give myself good words and positive energy. It wasn't possible. So I needed to use his voice. And that really shows me how fucking deep it was not just the panic attacks, but it was a big part of it. Because the panic attacks really made my life so much fucking harder. And so much unstable. I never knew in which state I was gonna wake up. I never knew. I went to bed and I didn't know how the first hour of my next day was gonna be. And that first hour decided how the whole fucking day went. And if you start with panic attacks, it's not a good thing. So, as I said, I did this for many years. And I knew that this wasn't, of course, sustainable. And I knew that this is not what I want. This is not what I need in life. And I really felt that I was meant to do more in my life than suffering from panic attacks and just trying to survive in life. So I was in the survival mode for a lot of years, and it didn't really, of course, it didn't really enhance my life. It just brought everything down to a lower vibration, to a lower, I just felt like I was down in the fucking ground and just not in a grounded way, but I was just pushed down, and my whole being, my whole soul and my whole inner universe just wanted to fly, but it was something that just pushed me down, and that created more panic attacks. Woohoo, yay! So I want to give you some of my insights and some of my lessons that I've been experiencing and that I've learned along the way. And this thing called panic attacks, I realized was a signal, a big fucking super strong signal from myself, and It was something that put me in that so I could really understand what I needed in life. Because I neglected all the parts that I needed for so long time. And I lived for others. I pleased others. I was a perfectionist. I was super afraid of if I do any little tiny thing wrong, everybody's gonna hate me. And from that, of course, I had anxiety and panic attacks because fear, stress, not living in your full potential or parts of your potential, and not living the life that you actually want to do, slowly brings you into anxiety, and then you get panic attacks, and I can't find a word but that fucking sucks. That's what I want to say. It fucking sucks. And I pushed myself so hard to just, but Maria, you can just do it. Just do it, as it says on YouTube. I can't remember his name, but it's a famous video. So like, I just kept on pushing myself. I pushed and pushed and pushed. And I was like, well, tomorrow I'm gonna go to work. Tomorrow I'm gonna do this. Yes, and tomorrow's gonna be a good day. I don't have panic attacks, what's that? You know? I just kept on believing that the things that happened to me, it was like I neglected that and I minimized that so fucking much. So I, like, as I said, I didn't even understand that it was panic attacks. Like, I was living with this for, I guess it must be maybe like 4 years. I lived with this without knowing what it was, until I got to I had a doctor's appointment, and I had a new doctor, and I described my life and everything to her, and she just looked at me like, Maria, you're having panic attacks. I was like, what? No. She's like, what you're having? And when she said that, I sat in, like, in that literally moment, I was right in the middle of a panic attack. So she's like, everything that I see on you right now is symptoms of panic attacks. So Maria, you have that, and you have to take care of yourself. I was like, yeah, but when do you think I'm gonna go back to work? It's a dog outside, if you heard a scratch. She's like, no, Maria, you're not going that way. You're not going back to work tomorrow. I'm gonna put you on sick leave, and you're gonna rest. I was like, yeah, but when do you think I'm gonna go back? You know, because you kind of need me. No, Maria, right now, you need to take care of yourself. You're not even 25 years old, or maybe I was. Yeah, I was around 25. I'm almost 30, so yeah, 25, 26. She was like, this isn't working. And the reason why you're sitting here is because you need to rest. But in my fully belief was that I needed to do more. I needed to do more. I wasn't good enough. It was wrong with me. And I was the one that needed to fix it by doing more. And she was like, no, Maria, please don't. Your whole fucking system, my whole fucking system was telling me to stop. It was telling me to give myself a break, to enjoy life, to find fun things in life, and to stop fucking punish myself from not being able to work as a fucking normal person. And I felt so bad about it. Like, my picture of myself was me being able to do whatever was brought to me in my life. I had a strong belief that I was a really good person. I could do almost anything. And I expected so fucking much from myself. And I did not see that. But I kept on putting like weight on myself. Like, you should do that. You should act like this. Why are you doing this? Why are you not doing that? Every fucking day, every fucking time. And no wonder why my system was like, fuck off, Maria. We're not gonna play by your own stupid imagined rules, because this is not life. You're not living life right now. You're fucking fighting life, and you're just trying too hard. That's my biggest lesson that I drawn from all these years, was that I tried too hard. And I tried too hard with stuff that wasn't gonna serve me. But I believed that as long as I just do a little more, then it's gonna be okay, right? Because, I mean, my fully belief was the reason why it's not working is because I don't put enough effort in. I don't do enough, you know. So this doctor forced me to be on sick leave. So I was. And it was kind of hard for me to accept that. It was hard for me to accept that I was actually panic attacks that I had. But once I realized that, and once that I actually accepted her words into my body started to... I started to hear my body again. I started to hear myself. And it was also like pretty interesting that another person had to tell me that, Maria, you have panic attacks and you need to rest. And whenever I went into like, but when should I? It's just like, no, you should not do anything. You should rest. That's what you should do. You should go outside and you should like move your body, and you should bring air into your lungs, and you should like look at the sun, and you should just be. Because I was never present at all. I was just in the next thing. I was just in the mind all the freaking time. And the mind is a beautiful thing to have, but not when it's actually taking over you. Because the mind and the brain and the thoughts and this kind of part of our brain, it's just a part of our brain, right? It's not everything. And it's for sure not everything that we are. So there's so much more to us as beings, except from our brain and our thoughts. And once I started to understand that, I started to also understand that I've been neglecting myself for so long. I haven't realized what I was actually doing to myself. And what that was to fucking punish myself for everything I didn't do. And for everything, not everything that I did, but I punished myself a lot in my own thoughts. So me realizing that was like, it's generated, everything is a process, you know, and that really started my process. And I started to really try to be more aware about myself. At that time, I was already practicing yoga. So I had a lot of techniques and methods to use to work with my system and to be more aware of my body. So I started to do that. I started to practice almost every day, either asanas, the practical position, physical parts of yoga, and pranayamas, and also a lot of mantras. Mantras was a big thing for me in my process, and it was with that I really changed my energy and really like worked with myself on an energetic level. Mantras and all I might be talking about in the future. It's not going to be a part of this video, but if you would like though for me to talk about it, you maybe just write it in the comments and hit like, maybe, I don't know. How do you do this thing called YouTube? So like, just to get to the value of this, the things that I actually want to give you, some of the lessons that I drawn from this, and that was that I need to prioritize myself. I really understood that nobody else is gonna do it for me. I have to do it for myself. And as I told you last video, like, if you don't put a value on yourself, nobody else is gonna do it. Like, people around you that likes you's gonna try to like, oh, but you're good, you got this, yada yada. But if you actually, in your essence and in your own belief, don't put a value on yourself, you're not gonna look valuable for the rest of the world. Because if you don't carry that energy, the energy of that I am worthy, like, people are not gonna think that. People are not gonna want to give you that energy. Like, as I said, people around you that knows you is gonna try to support you, but it starts with you, and it's always gonna do that. Like, whatever you want in life, it starts with you. How you approach that, what's your perspective of that. Like, literally because you are the master of your own world, you know, and you're only gonna have your own perspective, like, to go from. And by doing that, you're like, you kind of need to take care of that if you want to have a sustainable life, and if you want to grow and like enhance your life. And it's also like the second thing that I realized in this was, my second lesson was, I need to choose wisely what I put my focus on and what I put my time and energy on. Because if I put it on thinking bad about myself, being afraid, making up beliefs in my own system that if I go outside right now, like, someone's gonna see me and that's gonna bring like panic attacks to me, and then I'm gonna have a panic attack in the middle of the fucking street, and then people are gonna talk about me and like, you know. So I needed to stop myself, and I needed to guide myself into choosing where I needed to put some focus and effort, because it's not going to be easy. Never. Or I will not say never, but if you're in this energy of negativity, talking bad about yourself, believing in shit that's not even real, making your own fucking imaginations about the world outside and this is gonna happen, it's not true at all. Like, you create that in your own mind, and then you believe it, and then there's your reality, and then you live by it, and then you're fully fucking taken over by this shit. So what you need to do is to protect your energy. So when you have a thought of like, fuck, why do I do this? Why, like, just a negative talking to yourself, I needed to I teach myself to just stop. No, Maria, you're not thinking about this to yourself. Like, you're not thinking about this about yourself. Because if I'm gonna talk to me about myself in a negative way, I'm gonna have a negative outcome. So when I understood that, or when I realized that it's all about me, then I realized that I have the power to actually change. Or maybe I didn't feel like I had the power at the time, but I knew there was only gonna it was only gonna be me that could make a difference. Because the whole thing about panic attacks, as long as you don't have like a diagnosis, or like, you know that it's chemically, or like it's something else. If you have something else and some other reason why you have panic attacks, maybe it's more layered to this than I'm actually sharing right now, but I can only share from my own experience, and this was my reality, that I was negative towards myself, and I needed to change that, basically. And as I said, I needed to be aware of where I put my focus and what I prioritized in my life, and what was actually important. So once I started to do that, once I started to change my voice inside, and I started to see difference in my outer world. And this healing from the panic attacks, the journey of that, it's been long, and it's a still ongoing process. The only thing that I've changed is me. My panic attacks, they try to lure me in, you know? They try to trick me into believing in them. But now I know that that's just a fucking belief. and the mind is gonna keep on pulling me back to that, because that's what my brain is used to. My brain was used to pulling myself into this panic attack, to overthink, to overanalyze, and to be in that state. I was so used to being in that state, so I didn't really know how it felt not being in it. Like for me, having a day without panic attacks or anxiety, that was weird for me. And because it was weird for me, my mind and my system didn't really believe that it was possible. But when I started to convince myself that it is possible, that the brain is fucking it's not plastic, but it I can't know the world, like it's always changing. Like the studies show that today, like the science says that we don't have a brain that's the same brain that we're gonna have for the rest of our lives. And if a brain cell die, it's dead. It doesn't work like that. We constantly create new fucking brain cells and new material and new things. Like we're expanding our mind all the time, if we want, right? And this is like the core of it, is that we can make a big difference in our lives, but in order to do that, we need to take small steps, and we can't do everything right away, at once, at the same time. We can't. Like because we're gonna overload our system if we do. So we're gonna have to be careful about that, and take it one step at a time, and actually see all the things that we actually do. Like acknowledge that I did a difference in my body. First of all, I had to, like, it started with me trying to, like, give myself positive feedback. Like, I tried to go through, like, okay, so what's the part of this day that I'm actually happy about, and that I'm satisfied about, and that I'm, yeah, like, what's the good parts of this day? And that, in the beginning, could be, oh, yeah, I brushed my teeth. Because before I started to do this change, I wasn't able to brush my teeth. I was not really able to make myself some food. I was not able to work out or to go out just for a walk at all. Like the basic things that is really needed to have a stable core and a stable body and a stable system and a stable mind, I didn't have that. I didn't eat good. I slept good, and that's the only thing that always been good for me. I slept good, but then I woke up in this fucking panic attack, so that was just like deleted from the moment when I woke up. And it was so hard. Like, just the easy things in life was a fucking mission, and it was like a big fucking mountain for me to climb. So baby steps. That is the core of why I'm here today. And that was because I took baby steps. And I keep on taking baby steps every day. And I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna have some rest days and some fuck off days, you know? But in the core and generally, I'm not gonna stop with that. Because it's only by small steps that we can actually make a change. As I said, I think I got off track maybe. If we do two big changes at once, our mind and our body and our whole system is not used to it, so it gets overloaded. And then we easily get into this state of just feeling overwhelmed and then going back to doing nothing again. You know? Because it's like, you need to ease yourself. Like, you need to warm yourself up, you know? You can't just fucking, if we do like a metaphor, if you're gonna start to run, you can't fucking run a marathon in this, like, the same week. Of course you can't. If you do, You're gonna have like sore body, you're gonna have inflammations in your muscles and in your joints and all. You're gonna just overload your whole fucking system. And then you're gonna collapse and just needed to rest for so long. So that's just an unproductive way of doing it. We think that we're super productive of doing massive change in once, but we're overloading a system, falling back, and then doing nothing. And believe me, I tried and it doesn't work. But the beauty in this is when you realize that just taking small steps in life, like start brushing your teeth, if that was a hard thing for you to do yesterday. If you start with the small things, you will soon feel that you're creating something new and you achieve something that you couldn't do yesterday. And that feeling is going to inspire you and motivate you to maybe do a step tomorrow. And if you do a step tomorrow because you're inspired by the steps you did today or yesterday, that's just going to spiral in a positive way. The tricky thing in this is that we don't see that we're actually making change because we make so small steps all the time. And if you put that in a bigger perspective of like maybe 5 years, it's a massive change you've done. But if you just look on this tiny little week that is almost nothing, or this day in this whole perspective, like long perspective, it's kind of hard to see that you're making a change. But when all the small steps add up, then you made a massive change. I have so many examples in my life about that, and I'm gonna save that for another time because I do not want to overdo this. I'm gonna try. This is like me actually living the things that I'm actually saying right now. I want to try to make small steps with this. I do not want to make like massive videos, put super much effort and time and focus and energy and all in it. I want to do small steps. So I'd rather do a video a day and it's short and it has some value that I can give to you than being overloaded, feeling that I need to do like the biggest fucking thing and I need to do super good and I need to like be on top. And by next week, if I continue to do this, like I'm gonna do everything and super much in the same time, by the end of the week I'm not gonna do YouTube anymore. And why I know this is because I've experienced it. I experienced it in so many ways that I literally know, and I've seen it in so many different people. Like I told you that I'm stress management coach, and that's the biggest thing that I meet and that I see is that people try to do massive change, they end up failing and they end up hating each other, not each other, themselves, I mean. And then it's just negative. And then the spirals go back down into the fucking again. So small steps, and acknowledge the small steps that you actually do. Write it down. Like end your day with just saying to yourself whatever you did today. Maybe you said hi to a person you haven't before. Like you haven't seen that person before, but maybe you said hi and that person got happy from it. That's a big fucking thing that you did. You affected another person by saying hi. That's a tiny action, but it has massive results. Massive, I can't find the word, but it it just spreads. And it's the same thing with your own self and with your own being. If you continue to do small things towards yourself, you're not going to overload your body and you're going to feel good. You're going to feel like this is actually manageable. You can do it. So the next time that you feel like, oh, I should do this small step, it's not that hard to do it. So just compare. Fucking climbing a Mount Everest or just go up a hill. What would you rather do? Go up a hill because you can do it. You're able to do it. That will spark motivation inside of you. And that will spark like inspiration and a feeling of, oh, I got this. I'm able to live this life. You start to have this feeling of that you can manage your own life. So this is what I want to do here on YouTube. I want to share my experiences and in the same time hopefully give you some value of that, and hopefully inspire and motivate you to take care of yourself as a whole being and not to overload yourself, and to be gentle with yourselves. So if you would like to see more of this kind of videos and this kind of me sharing to you, and also hopefully giving some value, like literally from my own experiences, from my own observations, and whatever I found work for me and whatever I've seen works generally for others, press subscribe. Ooh, maybe the little tinglingy, you know, so you see when I post a video. And maybe you can comment, maybe you can just share whatever you think, and if you get any value out of this, just share that with me. Because if I see there is someone actually there, I can see in the views that someone have watched this. But if I can see it in the comments that you actually like this give you something, or like it started something inside of you, or whatever, like maybe you got triggered by this, I don't really like, I don't care. I just want to hear what's your thoughts, what's your feedback, you know, because I want to continue to do that, and I want to do that in a way that is, what do you say, it's like I want to have the positive spiral, you know. And in order to do that, I need your feedback, because I want to resonate with you and I want to connect with you. And so yeah, do that, please. Or not. Do whatever you want. And if you would like to press subscribe or hit a comment and push the like button, do, because it will give me a lot of energy. So with saying that, I wanna wish you a beautiful day, sorry, and be kind to yourself, right? Because you're stuck with yourself, and you're your own friend, and actually be a friend towards yourself. Don't be an enemy, right? It's not gonna make you live your life to the fullest. So yeah, bye.